Hello and welcome to the Metroidvania Review official stream. I have here with me today Nick.
Oh, sorry, I still have the sound on. Hi, everybody!
How's it going? Welcome to, finally, Metroid Zero Mission. I wanted to do this series of streams, which will go through Metroid 1, 2, and 3, so that we could talk about how they are stronger narratives than you might think. My motivation for doing this series is that I hear a lot that Metroid isn't about the story, and I completely disagree with that. And so that's kind of my goal with this. I know that that's kind of a pretentious start to the whole thing. We will also be talking about game design and things like that with the game. All three of these games are some of my favorite games of all time. So I am very excited to move into this. And actually, Nick didn't know that Metroid Zero Mission existed before today. Is that...
Now that I've seen the title Zero Mission, I remember hearing that, but for some reason I never made the connection that it was a remake of the original Metroid.
Well, that is a little bit confusing since it is called Zero Mission, so but it is a remake of the first Metroid.
And we're also going to talk about really important things like how does Samus go to the bathroom in her suit? And there's no bathrooms on this whole planet.
That's true. Although it seems like lava would be a good place, just to throw that out there, you know, lavatory.
I remember
you walked into that.
I remember seeing a video about people throwing trash into volcanoes, and apparently it doesn't work as well as you think. Like, it doesn't... A volcano is not a magic portal into which things disappear.
Planet Zebes. I called this place home once in peaceful times, long before evil haunted the caverns below. Now I shall finally tell the tale of my first battle here, my so-called Zero Mission.
Yeah, that wasn't in the original, was it?
No. They didn't have any text in the original. You got all of your dialogue all of your story in the manual. Also, hi Cactuar. I forgot to say hi to you.
Yeah, how's it going? Wait, so this is the planet where the bird people lived?
Yes.
This is like her home planet? Where did all the bird people go? Are they all dead?
I think the Metroids killed them.
All of them?
Ironically, okay. So here's the funny thing about another disclaimer before we start this. I only know the games. I have not read the mangas. I have not read the backgrounds. To some people, that would be wrong, considering I'm going into this to talk about the story. But in my opinion, if the games don't give you the story that is relevant to those games, then I think that the game has failed. So this is coming at this looking at it only from the game perspective. So I do not know the answer why the Chozo are gone. I'm sure that's covered in the manga at some point.
They're actually here watching as you rampage around the planet, and they're just kind of vaguely embarrassed. They're like, "Oh, we raised her better than that."
So something interesting that I just noticed that they removed from the original. I think when you go right, immediately, maybe you do go through a door first. Also, I apologize in advance for repeating the words "the original" over and over again. They may have changed this slightly to make it fit more towards what the geometry is like in Super Metroid.
Well, the backgrounds are definitely different, because in the original game, this is all bushes, or at least in my memory, it looked like bushes. Or maybe it was supposed to be rocks.
Plain back, yeah. Alright, so this is one of the biggest differences, and one of the reasons why I say that Metroid Zero Mission is one of the best games for people who are beginners to the Metroidvania genre, is that they kind of force these guides right at the start. And we'll talk about that as we go. Some people are like, oh no, it's holding hands. That's not what Metroid does. But you have these Chozo statues that just teach you where things are. Which is good for beginners.
Maybe that actually is a Chozo, and it just died.
It just died. And sits there until somebody gets in its hands, and it's like, oh, hi. Let me tell you about my grandchildren. They're up here. And literally, that is actually what it is, because I think it leads you to other Chozo statues, because Chozos are what hand out the power-ups in this game.
Well, that's now canon.
That's now canon. We are the authorities on Metroid now.
You are.
Forget the manga. We know what's happening.
I always thought the concept of canon was ridiculous, because they're like, oh, there's no canon anymore. You're like, oh, okay, so my imaginary story isn't true? Oh, no.
Yeah, I think that's part of the fun of... So this is interesting. You can't get through that. So that's an example of an early ability gate. because
Oh, huh.
you still have the short beam from the first game.
It's weird that they put in gates that weren't in the original.
Oh, there's a lot of gates that are in the original because you get things like the speed boost and stuff that wasn't in the original.
Oh. So is the general consensus that this is a better version of the original game?
That is my opinion because I don't like the original. There are going to be people who argue with that, but I gave this game a 5 out of 5, if that says anything.
I should play this sometime.
Caldra says the original kind of sucks. It's got a lot of things that could make it better, I'll put it that way.
I mean, you got to take it into the context of when it was made. It was literally made by people that didn't ever know what they were doing. Like, they made something truly original.
So Chozo statues now heal you completely now. And yeah, there were games that were earlier examples of Metroidvanias than Metroid. Like what we know now as Metroidvania. But, yes, you're right. It is kind of unique for what it is. However, Zelda did the same thing. Yeah, no one ever knows what they're doing when it comes to game design. That is absolutely true, Caldrath. Zelda was kind of a pioneer in its type of game, and it did a lot of things that really could have benefited the original Metroid. For instance, when you die in the original Metroid, so this is the boss gate. Remember, you have to kill Ridley and Kraid in order to...
Oh, yeah.
So they actually dump you off in this area pretty early, and I think they seal the door shut to force you to see that. So they kind of guide you through kind of the objectives of the game in this version, whereas you're kind of left off on your own in the original Metroid. For better or worse.
Man. Oh, wow. Just rampages right before.
Yeah. So this game came after Metroid Fusion, so there's a lot of advancements that kind of came from that. And this is another forced
Yeah, that's a little on the nose.
guy.
Like, where did that guy even come from?
He's like blocking the passageway. Oh yes, Cactuar is pointing out that the Chozo statues have inspired similar iconography in other Metroidvania games.
Yeah, I think they're pretty iconic. Which, by the way, go into your menu.
Sure. What do you want to see?
Hold on, it has to actually go. Yeah, your character there. That is the most Doom guy looking picture of Samus I've ever seen.
Well, Samus came first, so I think.
Yeah, but she didn't look like that.
I don't know. I mean, I think she's gotten a little bulkier since the first game in this version, but other than that, I don't know.
She's gonna rip and tear.
What I think is funny is that the suit has never been a part of Samus's identity. It is, yes, but she also changes suits a lot throughout the series. So it's not like her magic sword that without it she's not Samus anymore.
Well, I think it's because they have to so often come up with reasons why she loses all her powers, and being in a new suit is an easy explanation for that.
Sure. Got these bugs. I hate these bugs.
Oh, that's annoying. They're like ticks.
Yeah, you can't get rid of them until you have bombs. Thankfully,
I
we don't
am
have problems.
shocked. This is like unheard of when it comes to remakes, like changing it like this.
So that does spawn controversy, as it always does. I think I'm going the wrong way, but we're gonna go this way anyway. Yeah, I think I need bombs before I can go through here. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about is in the original, as I mentioned, the entire story is dispensed to you through the manual. And if you don't read the manual, then you're kind of left out of the loop. And I think we want to go this way. Oh, no, this is a save point, but we're going to use that because we're not going to use save states this time around.
I mean, I would kind of argue if your story's in the manual, then your game doesn't have a story.
Maybe that's the perception that people gain from that. And to be honest, the first Metroid kind of didn't. It was basically pirates are on this planet, they have Metroids, and those Metroids need to be disposed of because they're dangerous. And that's something I'll talk about as we progress through the game. It's actually one of the things that disappoints me about this remake. But one of the things this remake does is that it kind of centers the focus on Samus as a character, which before you didn't even know she was female until you beat the game and happened to see that.
Yeah, and got a good ending.
Right, and you had to get the good ending to do that. Whoops.
I'm disappointed that they don't rise out of, like, pots. Man, there are, like, mini-bosses all over the place. This is substantially different.
Oop. That's right, he doesn't open his eye until he dives down. I'm going to always perform worse when I'm on stream. That's my excuse anyway. Hey, this game isn't randomized, Caldroth. There's a reason I use save states in the randomizer. There's definitely not a balance to the random version of the game. So here's another choice that they made that I like. Only one missile to open missile doors.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
So that's one of my primary complaints about the original. I think I was getting at that, but then I kind of got off track. It's really easy to refill your health in Zelda. Like, you have the fairies everywhere, and then you can like find them on enemies and things. And you never lost your rupees, like, when you died. In the original Metroid, when you died, you like respawned with only like 100 health out of, you know, however many E-tanks you had. And there's this paltry amount of missiles, so in order to really stand a chance, you had to like grind for tens of minutes to get all your stuff back.
At an enemy spawner and just kill them over and over.
Yeah, you find an enemy spawner, and that was their solution to that, which I think is a terrible solution. Probably my main complaint about the original Metroid. If they changed that one thing, in my opinion of it would be enhanced immensely. Always go a little bit quiet during boss fights, especially when you only have 100 health.
I always thought Metroid actually was pretty liberal with its health.
The original Metroid? The original Metroid, I don't think they even had the big health in that thing. I think it only filled it up 5 at a time. But I could be wrong on that.
No, I think you got more than 5.
I think some of them may have... There wasn't any visual difference, if I remember correctly. But whatever the case. I didn't like...
Oh, no. I mean total health. Like, max health.
Oh, yeah. There was like 14 or something like that. See, like, this is the energy tank. This energy tank system where you get 100 health every energy tank is something that the later games really had to deal with as far as balancing the difficulty.
It's a ton of health.
It is a ton of health. Like, I just doubled my health just now. Like, that's unprecedented compared to like Zelda that gives you 1 heart, which is, you know, effectively 4 more health.
Yeah, imagine if your first health upgrade gave you, what, 6 hearts instead of 4?
But the way that they balance it is by making enemies do, you know, hundreds of damage at a time.
Which is a tricky balance.
Yeah. And the other thing that the games have to deal with is the number of missiles that you get by the end as well. Like, still keeping it challenging while not making it so you have to necessarily get 100%.
Right.
And in some of the Metroid games, if you don't get 100%, you pretty much are done. Like, you need to go back and get 100%. I'm willing to bet that I'm not going to get the 2-hour mark on Metroid 2 when we get to that game.
Is there a special ending if you get that?
Oh yeah, you always get to see Samus without her suit on.
We're gonna just keep playing until you get
it. Or I could just like pull up the image off of Google and show it.
No, you wouldn't have the sense of what was the EA quote? Something in satisfaction for achieving it yourself.
These darn beetles. Come on. Oh, and then something else interesting in this game, you have a toggle for your missiles instead of hitting the select button to turn them on and off.
Oh. What do you do when you're running down the hallway and you're bored just randomly hitting something?
This is vanilla, that is correct. Welcome, Dr. Octorocket. This is the original game. We're showing off this game to talk about the story. So they have a little bomb puzzle that you can do after you get the bombs in order to get a bonus missile tank. Can you imagine a player missing that? I'm just trying to think. Like, I think it's there just to show you that secrets exist in this game. Did they just block that door?
Pretty well. So do they give you a scanner in this game to act as a secrets cheater like Super Metroid?
No, actually. They didn't do that after Super Metroid, and I kind of like that, so I'm kind of annoyed that that was never reintroduced back into the series again, except for the Prime series. So they locked that door to force me to learn that those beetles are killable with bombs. That's something that Metroid does a lot. Instead of, just outright telling you things, they just lock you in a room
and force you to do it.
Yeah, say, figure it out now. The puzzle controversy.
Puzzle controversy?
Caldrath is making fun of me for calling that a bomb puzzle. So you still have the aim diagonally in this game, but they mapped it to one button. In fact, there are 2 less buttons on this game than there are in the original Super Metroid. And in my opinion, if Super Metroid would definitely be improved by taking this game's button scheme and then using those other 2 buttons for other things. But there's also not a run button in this game, which Super Metroid has. So then this is the part where you take a lava bath. That was completely intentional.
Well, yeah, you gotta do it to get the secret ending.
I gotta get that beetle slime off of me. Those beetles were all over me. Whoops. That sounds like a good ROM hack. I don't mind Super Metroid's controls, obviously. I like the game a lot, but it is one thing that if you can change it, go for it. Like, I think it's a good idea if you are interested in doing ROM hacks.
Yeah, I really don't see any problem changing controls.
Sure. I don't see any problem with modding the game however you want, to be honest, but... And then this tells you where you can go next if you happen to want it, but you can also skip it completely if you want. I'm just double checking to make sure there's not any. Also, look how easy it is to do bomb jumps in this game. I'm just pointing it out.
Oh wow!
For how hard it was in Super Metroid.
They must blow up faster.
Yeah, they do, quite a bit. Anyway, this is a completely optional. Tell you where to go. The funny part about this, though, and I'm going to show it because I always miss it because of how I normally play, but it tells you where to go, but then you can't get there, and I think that that's a great teaching tool.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
They subvert the expectation that they set from the beginning of the game that this game is going to hold your hand.
They should have given you a place to go, and then you go there, and it's just like instant death, and then all of a sudden you can't trust the Chozo statues.
I don't know if they make you fight a Chozo statue in this game. I know you do in Super Metroid a couple of times. I think it's like the first Chozo statue you find fights you. Okay, I don't need to deal with that one.
Reminds me of an enemy from Noita. Oh, they follow you from screen to screen?
I think so.
That's obnoxious.
I am going to... I don't think we can get what's down here yet, but I'm going to go down far enough that it shows up on the map so I don't forget about it later. That is a strategy that I apply to a lot of Metroidvania games. Especially when the game doesn't give you the ability to mark your map. Which, by the way, if you're planning on making a Metroidvania game, add that to your game. It's great. It doesn't matter what the game is. Add the ability that I can put markers on the map.
I always like that you had to buy them as items in Hollow Knight.
So Dr. Octorocket says that the ROM hack for Super Metroid that gives the controls of Metroid Zero Mission to Super Metroid is called Control Freak, which is actually a great name for that. I think I'm going the right way. Yeah, I'm going the right way.
What version of Metroid 2 are you going to play?
I'm going to play the original, and I haven't decided if I'm going to play AM2R right after that or just go straight to Super Metroid. Right now, today, I am leaning towards going straight to Super Metroid and then maybe playing AM2R after and talking about how it changes the story in good and bad ways.
You're going to play the original, like, the Game Boy game?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Great.
Oh yeah, they added cutscenes to this game.
Oh.
So, Super Metroid was directed by, and you know, I should have looked this up beforehand because I did the same thing during the stream on Wednesday because I couldn't remember his name. But it's directed by the same guy as Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, and then ultimately Metroid Other M. And, you know, everybody talks about what went wrong with Other M. But it's all the same guy, and I can kind of see where his vision was heading. So this is what I was talking about. It tells you that this is where you're supposed to go, but we can't actually get there because we lack the power upgrade that we need.
Wah, wah.
I have never gone right on my playthroughs, though. Like, I always go to the left, and it wasn't until after, like, I get back and I'm like, wait, if I'd gone right, I couldn't have gone there anyway. Because in my mind, if I have places I can still go, then there are going to be missiles and other power-ups. So I never...
Yeah, that's the thing with all games. Like, oh no, I'm going the right way.
Right. That's true. Calderoth's right. I could bomb jump up there, and that is absolutely correct. Although I'm not going to do that because I want the power-up that's up here.
Is it Takehiko Hosokawa?
No.
Is it
It's the writer. It's the writer for Super Metroid. If you look up Super Metroid, it's the writer.
Oh, I'm on Metroid Fusion. Let's see.
Should be Metroid Fusion. He may have also directed Metroid Fusion.
See, the writer for Metroid Fusion is Yoshio Sakamoto.
Sakamoto, yes. I did have his name right. Okay, I feel better now. Oh, now we gotta go in the water.
Wow. Metroid Fusion came out in 2002. For some reason, I thought it was older than that.
I don't know. It's funny that a lot of games that you can think of as old came out in the 2000s. Yeah, Sakamoto is his name. So, and this game is part of that vision, where he kind of made the focus a little bit more on Samus rather than on the Metroid situation. And I think that all spawned from Super Metroid.
Yeah, I mean, Super Metroid is it's got a story.
So something that AM2R added that I really like is a button that turns you into ball form.
Oh, instead of hitting down? Is it just because you accidentally hit down?
No, so you can like turn into a ball in midair.
Oh.
Oh, I actually think there's a actual key gate beyond. If I did do the bond jump in the other area, I think it would have blocked me because of this thing. Item incompatible with current suit. Let's go ahead and fill up while we're here.
So when was the first time that you played the original Metroid?
Last year.
Wait, really? Like you hadn't played it at all?
I had started it? Like, you mean like back in the day? Probably.
Yeah.
Come on. Go down, water. Alright, I'm just gonna bomb jump out
That's
of here.
obnoxious.
Oh wait, there's a bomb. I don't know why I didn't try shooting. You know, this catches me every stinking time. Hello, Retrovania. Alright, then we can get up here. I also really like the bomb jumping ability. It makes things so much nicer. So you don't have to...
I remember my dad had an NES when I was growing up, and one of the games he had was Metroid, so I probably played this pretty close to when it originally came out. I mean, I wasn't good at it.
Yeah, I didn't get very far as a kid. The game was extremely obtuse.
Well, I remember the insane password like system. Here, put in these 25 characters. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. If you're the type of person who enjoys writing your own map and that sort of thing, then there's a lot of value to the original Metroid. And I do like doing that occasionally. The biggest thing in the original Metroid is the way the game punishes you for dying. And yeah, that's the other thing, is there's a lot of copy-pasted level geometry. Metroid. Here's the thing about not having a map, is that it would work a lot better if the game is more linear, like the Metroid 2. Like Metroid 2.
Sounds like somebody didn't have the power, Nintendo power.
Or if they had just made the level geometry a little bit more distinct instead of copying and pasting certain areas. So this area is completely not in the original. This surface.
You couldn't cling to ledges like that either.
No.
Oh man, Game Genie. I remember Game Genie.
I have the power of the Game Genie. Or you just get the code that gives you all the power-ups from the beginning of the game. I don't remember what code that is, but it's cool. There's one that lets you have the Waybeam and the... I don't even know why I'm trying to grab this, but I'll just keep going, I guess.
Imagine how complex a modern-day Game Genie would need to be. Like if it was going to go in and change game code.
See a little speed boost spot there. Remember that's there. And
Like that they give you a little external place with your ship to make it like the Super Metroid.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they don't... Also, your ship looks very different in this game. I think it's interesting that they don't start you off there like they do in future Metroid games. Yeah, the Justin Bailey code, which is such a funny piece of history. I'm going to go ahead and progress.
What is Justin Bailey?
If you wanted to start in Zero Suit Samus mode in the original game.
You could put in the password Justin Bailey?
Yeah, it's literally just Justin Bailey.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, kind of a weird thing. I can't remember the history behind why it's Justin Bailey.
I was like, kind of a history of old passwords. Like Doom is always well known for all of its passwords.
Yeah, IDQD.
Yeah, IDKFA, IDClip. Like I haven't input those codes in years, and yet I still remember those.
The ID stands for id Software, right?
Yeah. I also remember, hands down, my favorite password word was in SimCity 2000 for the Macintosh. I think it was the money code for Infinite Money, and it was Porn Tips Gazzardo.
So Calderoth repeated something I've heard before, that Justin Bailey was apparently a coincidence, which that...
I don't know. That seems like quite a coincidence.
Yeah, that seems... I'm not saying it's impossible, but... That sounds like a cover story.
Oh, who said it's a coincidence? Oh, that's our PR guy, Justin Bailey.
Yeah, our PR Justin Bailey says that has nothing to do with anything. It was just an arbitrary code.
Wait a minute, I like that it was literally a Mario warp pipe that the enemies are coming out of.
That's what they are in the original, I think.
Well, they're not green. They're like red or something. And they don't look like... You can't really see the pipe, I don't think. At least I feel like you can. It always looked to me like they were rising up out of a shallow dish.
There are some areas that are like that, but they do have the pipes, I'm fairly sure. This could be Mandala effect. I could be completely misremembering. But I'm pretty sure in Norfair you do have the pipes. You can always YouTube it and confirm. This is a part that's tempting to use a bomb jump to get up to, but if you bomb anywhere here, it blows the floor up, so it's not recommended.
You get one chance.
Yeah, basically.
And then that guy down there is like, I want to pinch you.
Yeah, you can bomb jump, but isn't there one of those like glitch blocks that you have to get past? I'm sure there's all kinds of sequence breaking things that I don't even notice in this game. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're confirming what I was suspicious of. Yeah, this was the era that Nintendo started doing a little bit more railroading. I don't even know if this is a good idea right now, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I mean, it's the beginning of Nintendo, so...
2002? Maybe. Ice Beam!
Oh, I thought you meant the original.
Oh, no. This game is when they started railroading you a little bit more. The original, you could go wherever you want. I think you could beat the game with like 2 power-ups.
Yeah, you can... It's been a long time since I watched Summoning Salt's video, but the sequence breaking was pretty extreme.
A little forced Ice Beam tutorial. And also hi Akipon, I did not say hi. These bubbles are like iconic of the Metroid series to me.
Oh yeah.
Like the egg-looking things on the walls.
Yeah, totally agree.
Every time I see it in other games, it like it puts me back in Metroid. So something cool they added with the charge beam. I actually haven't been using the charge beam this whole time when I probably should have been. You kind of want to freeze these guys a little bit so you can jump off of or jump up to them more easily. You don't want to freeze them exactly above you. I always thought that physically speaking, this is like completely impossible. Right.
Like things it's not literally making them cold. It's putting them in a suspended, frozen animation.
Sure, but then they use the cold thing to... I think you can skip this Chozo, but I think it might be difficult. So when I say railroading...
No, listen to me.
When I say railroading Retrovania, I was talking about how, like, if you use the bomb jump to try and sequence break that there's a hard block that prevents you from moving further. That's one of those, they didn't intend you to go that way, so they're not going to let you do it.
Play the game like we want you to play it.
Yeah, I could definitely understand people not appreciating the hand-holding aspect of this game. Come on. Why did he stop jumping?
He doesn't want you to freeze and lock on him.
What the heck? Get back here. Okay. Firing randomly is probably not... Okay, there we go. That firing randomly worked. I don't understand why he wasn't coming out. I guess I wasn't close enough to the lava. I did fire at that guy a little bit high up.
They stay frozen a long time.
Well, they kind of have to, I think. It'd be really frustrating if they didn't. Okay, I have to make a bridge on this one. They really challenge your lack of high jump ability early on.
Well, if they're going to give you more mobility options, they might as well make you, use them.
I can't remember where this is. So if you look at the map, there's a little... I think I may have just gotten blocked in here. I think it's that square up there, but I'm not hitting it correctly. Let's see if I can hit it. There we go. So the map does give you hints that there are items in the area.
Wait, they didn't have cartridges in Japan for the NES?
I think it may have been on the disc system.
Oh, wow.
I think we might be done with this section here. So we got the ice beam. The game, I think, is telling us we need to go back to Brinstar now. At a certain point, you can start skipping the Chozo statues, though, so if you don't like it telling you where to go, you can always not let it tell you. They really do hold your hand a lot at the beginning here, though.
Well, I mean, it fits with the baby's first Metroid.
Yeah. No, I think it's appropriate being a remake of the first game. Get out of here.
So do you think we're ever going to get a new Metroid?
Oh, you mean Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah,
it's on its way.
The game that's been in development forever.
Bigger games and games that all started on disc. That's true. So did the Japan version of Metroid have game or saves on disc? Oh yeah, Ridley's kind of broken the original Metroid on the NES. But yeah, do I think that there's going to be a new Metroid? I have no idea. I have no idea what's on Nintendo's mind. Seed Gaming recently put out a video where he has this conspiracy theory that Nintendo really hates progression systems because everybody else is doing it, and they want to kind of differentiate themselves by not having them, which means the Metroid design is kind of broken apart as a result.
Nintendo's unwillingness to do certain things that the fan base wants is always totally flabbergasting to me.
The we hate money problem.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, to be honest, okay, so Metroid Other M was terrible, and I think that kind of killed. And it's never been a series that's sold a lot. But the part of the problem with that is that they always release the best games in the Metroid series like late in the console's lifespan. So I don't even know if it's the fault of Metroid.
I mean, maybe it's just because of my age, but for Nintendo, there are core franchises. There are fundamental franchises, and I would consider Metroid one of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's one of the most, well, obviously, and from my perspective, it's one of the most influential games that they have.
Oh, yeah, and Paper Mario is another awesome example of Nintendo just poo-pooing the fan base. I mean, I feel so bad for Paper Mario fans. They've gotten just garbage sequel after garbage sequel.
And yeah, Dr. Octorocket, that is probably true. The reason why they don't make Metroid is because it doesn't make them as much money as some of their other franchises. But they put so much into Zelda. I think it's because Ocarina of Time was such a breakout success. Like, if Ocarina of Time wasn't Ocarina of Time, Zelda might be in the same position as Metroid. But I think if they threw the same kind of money and if they went as careful as they did with Zelda with the Metroid series, I think it would be in the same boat. I wonder if I can. I'm not gonna try it. I'll get it when I get the high jump.
I think skipping the generation of N64 for Metroid was, yeah, sure, it came back with the GameCube with the fairly successful Prime games, but you know, not having any kind of game on the 64 meant that we went, I don't know, how long was the 64's run? 6 years?
Something like that.
And we got 2 Zelda games during that time?
Yeah, and Dr. Octorocket is pointing out that the New Horizons Animal Crossing game made more than the entire Metroid series.
Yeah, but it's not like they churn out dozens of Animal Crossing games. They've got their phone game that they can use as a money churn, and then New Horizons was a huge hit, but it's not like they're charging for more content at this point.
Well, I've said it to respond to Caldraw's comment that the Metroid Prime series is one of the highest rated games of all time, or Metroid Prime is. Still didn't sell that well. I think it's just because Metroidvania really is a niche.
Which is just so weird to me, because it's kind of the
biggest thing in indie game right now.
Well, I don't know. I would say it's arguable whether it's Metroidvania or roguelite is the best representation in the indie sphere.
Sure. Probably one of the most. Criminalized gacha, that would solve the problem. Maybe. Honestly, it's the consumer that drives that. If people didn't buy into the gacha games, they wouldn't make them.
I mean, the New Horizons, I wouldn't necessarily put it in that category. The phone game definitely is. New Horizons just has a content problem at this point.
Is Metroid's anniversary? I guess it would have to be this year since Mario's was just up.
It does. Well, I think they don't want to draw attention to Metroid because they don't want to draw attention to the fact that they had to restart their new game
Several times. Maybe they'll surprise release Metroid Prime on the anniversary date. I don't know what I'm doing with my controls right now.
I mean, that would have been so easy. Just release a Metroid Prime collection for the Switch.
They might still. That's still a possibility.
People would go insane.
Yeah. Gotchavanias. I think they exist. I think Breaking Gates is trying to do that. Maybe. I don't think it actually has microtransactions on the PC version.
Just need to create a bunch of costumes. Like the game I sent you last night, where it was basically just DLC costumes of the game.
Oh my gosh, my wife got into Final Fantasy XIV again, and I walked in on her computer, and can I wall bounce up that? Maybe I can. I don't know. I missed it. And she was looking at mounts like that you pay for, and it was like $35 for a mount that 4 people could ride.
Wait, what? How much?
Holy crap! That is a lot.
Wait, no. How much was it?
$35.
$35?
Yes.
That's obscene. That's offensive.
Offensive is a good word for it. Right? Okay, I think I have to go that way. So this would be my maybe 4th time I played this game, and of course it's years and years apart. So I don't remember everything completely, especially not when I'm talking at the same time. I think I'm going to have to go up this thing again.
Also, his controller isn't working right, and
and lag. There's lag.
Yeah, there's lag.
Somehow.
Yeah, it does seem like the patience for gacha mechanics are finally growing thin. You know, at least in countries that do stuff.
So this is something that's always fascinated me about the Metroid series. Like, we just accept that her going into ball form and then exploding or whatever powers machinery for long amounts of time.
I mean, it makes me wonder, like, that must mean that Chozo can roll into balls, right? I mean, it's a fundamental part of their tech.
I think so. I think that's probably, if we're trying to analyze the Chozo in this lore run of Metroid.
Imagine if instead of cars, we just rolled into balls.
And a lot of what Metroid is what they don't tell you. I think there's a boss in here. Yep, there he is. This is an interesting boss. I kind of like it. Whoops. Okay, so you don't want to be standing there. You want to be standing here. Whoops.
Yeah, the EU one occasionally passes some rules that really do benefit us. Is this the same worm from earlier?
No, that worm died.
It's interesting that they like added a species, like these worms weren't in the original game at all.
Whoop. I'm trying to remember how
I think you have to, yeah, I think you have to jump to the left when he's diving to the right.
Yeah, I need to bring this over here. Whoops. I think what I need to do is when he comes up, I need to jump up, and there we go, and then I do that. A little bit of a puzzle boss.
You need to hit him for terrible, terrible damage.
Oops. We'll get this, we'll get this. Don't worry, Chozo will just give me all my stuff back.
I like he's just like, I'm gonna put you in the lava.
Oh, and then the lava comes up, because this is dangerous. Slowly I'll raise the lava and that'll stop you. We're almost out of missiles. I have to start using charge shots.
Right now, the worm is like, oh my gosh, she has so much health. She's such a damage sponge.
You do kind of become one in Metroid, though. The bosses in this game are way better than Super Metroid. Like, if you were to give, like... There's a lot of reasons why you might prefer this game over Super Metroid. The controls are one of them we mentioned. But I think that the boss quality, with the exception of Ridley, I like Ridley more in the Super Metroid. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem like the charge shots hit the enemy. So I guess we're just gonna have to use regular shots.
Normal shots. You can't have too much health.
I did get to play the Pronti demo on the festival. However, it crashed, so we didn't actually get very far into it. For some reason, I thought I was gonna raise the lava. Alright, well, I'm not even gonna bother charging anymore since apparently it doesn't even hit. Usually with these bosses, they give you something that refills your missiles in the middle of the fight in these newer games.
Yeah, give you some sort of projectile that you can shoot.
Yeah, or something.
Oh, so I started Luna Nights.
Oh. Yeah, that's right. You did mention that. How are you liking it so far?
I'm liking it. I like the time freeze mechanic. It's clever. Granted, I haven't played it a ton because then I started playing Slay the Spire, but...
Well, that's going to take all your time for a while. I think there's a...
Yeah, I'll probably get back to it. I mean, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I like their art style.
Yeah. I hope it's a...
It reminds me of Metal Slug.
Do I want to go this way or do I want to go the other way? Let's try this way. And there's missiles over here, so I guess that's good enough. I thought Pronti was interesting. I think that it had a little bit more tutorial than I like, but you know, sometimes that happens.
What was Pronti?
That was
sell it in a sentence.
That was the underwater game. I don't know how to sell it because we didn't get far enough into it.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, I did enjoy Pronti. I look forward to when that one gets fully released. Underwater Metroidvanias are starting to become their own genre now. I think that's number 7.
Is Subnautica Metroidvania?
Some people say it is. You're probably going to get a no from most people.
Is that the answer to every time you ask the question, is X a Metroidvania?
Yes.
The response is, some people say it is.
Some people say it's a Metroidvania. Well, that is the answer, though. Oh, gosh. Okay.
True.
Almost missed that. I think there's a... Okay, there wasn't a trap. Good. I am at a precariously low amount of health. I'm hoping that these guys will help me out with that. I prefer to have at least one pink dot. There we go.
Just leave the room and come back in and do that over and over for the next 5 minutes.
So there's the Aquatic Adventure of the Last Human for underwater Metroidvanias. Song of the Deep, Aquaria, now Pronti. There is a game called Depths of Insanity coming out. There's Sekai Into the Depths. And I want to say there's one more that I can't remember.
I'm waiting for the Echo the Dolphin remake.
Some people might say that's a Metroidvania.
I think there's an argument to be made. That game was bonkers hard. Like, I remember renting it as a kid and having no clue how to even progress.
That's another one of those games where you want to draw your own map.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's also bananas.
So what I love about this remake is that entire section up into the top right, I think is all just missiles in the original. And they really kind of made it an interesting little... They added a boss, kind of made it a bit of a puzzle on how to get through it.
I will say this place feels much more like a facility than random spaghetti tunnels going everywhere. Like, this feels like a real place.
Yeah.
As opposed to the original guy. Oh man. 4 of those wasp guys in the same room?
We're starting to get stronger. They have to ramp up the difficulty. Oh. So this is the part where I do a lava bath. Get the sticky off me.
This is annoying.
I actually, when I saw that there were so many underwater Metroidvanias, I actually planned on doing a whole month of just underwater Metroidvania games for my reviews. That didn't happen because, you know, other games came out and you can't... It's hard to schedule an entire month for one specific theme.
Water month!
When you have to deal with that. I think... Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. If you go over here, you can see that there's a kind of a hidden lava section here. But we're gonna go up first.
Wait, is that like holographic lava?
I don't know if holographic is what I would call it. I should do a top 10 underwater Metroidvania games when there's 10 of them.
I was gonna say, are there 10?
when there becomes 10 of them. It's getting there. All right. Can we get in there from here? Let's find out.
Which is funny because typically underwater levels are the levels that everybody hates.
Can I get across this without breaking? Nope. Okay, let's see. I only have 8 missiles and 68 health, but YOLO.
Yeah, they have made the game more challenging.
I would disagree with it being more challenging than the original, because the original is freaking challenging.
I mean, the original is challenging for the wrong reasons. Like,
yeah,
if you
that's
know where,
probably the best way to
If you know
put
where
it.
to go, yeah.
I would say that the combat is still harder than the original, but again, the wrong reasons is a good way of describing that. Oops. Okay, you just kind of fall right down.
What did this originally come out for? GBA?
Yeah, this is a Game Boy Advance game. That's the other thing, is that they never, like... I think I agree. I think if they had, like, a Metroid Prime-ish game on the N64, during that time when first-person shooters were really popular, like, when Metroid Prime 1 came out, that's when Halo was kind of destroying the game industry. And when I say destroy... When I say destroying, I mean, like...
It was great.
I'm not saying it's bad. It was... It was at the forefront of everybody's minds, and
Right.
easy to compare. Easy to compare Metroid Prime to.
Right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't even consider Metroid Prime a first-person shooter.
Yeah. Well, I think if it came out on the N64, I think we may have had a different story for the Metroid series.
I think if it was on N64, we would have ended up with a pretty amazing 2D Metroid. I don't think they would have tried to go 3D. At least I don't think they should have. I don't think the tech was there to make a good 3D Metroid yet.
But GoldenEye 64 and Perfect Dark, like...
Eh,
You might be right that you might not have been able to do the, like, the world aspect of it. And most certainly you wouldn't be able to have the mind-blowing graphics for the time that the original Metroid, or the original Metroid Prime had.
just imagine how good... Like, there were only a handful of side-scrollers on the 64, but the ones that they made were actually pretty darn good.
So I'm stopping here because I wanted to point out this puzzle here. So one of the problems I have with the first game is that there's a lot of places where you have to bomb to get into places, and there's not really any tells here. But here, they have this nice little tunnel up at the top that kind of teaches you that if you're observant, you can find the entrance.
Yeah, I would 100% not notice that.
I played a lot of these games. but it's there. You can't argue that it's not there.
Unknown item? What?
Yeah, this is the second unknown item that we've gotten so far.
And yeah, I think the 64 definitely didn't have one because they wanted to make it 3D. They probably thought, oh, we can't make it a side-scroller because people are going to think that looks old. And so they just
Ocarina of
never
Time
made
as
one.
well. I don't know. I think it could have been done.
I mean, I bet there was a team during that time working on a Metroid game for the N64.
I think Metroid Prime started out as an N64 game, didn't it?
Oh, did it?
I don't know. A lot of games did. Like Eternal Darkness was this N64 game originally. Star Fox
good thing that got
Adventures
pushed back.
was an N64 game made by
no.
Rare, I think. Rare? Is it Rare the one who did that? Maybe I'm wrong on that one.
When they started their decline.
But I'm pretty sure that started out as an N64 game before they changed it to a GameCube game. Yeah, Animal Crossing was N64 originally.
Wait. Oh, yeah. I remember hearing that.
So I don't know. I think the iron was hot during the N64 era for a 3D Metroid game.
See, I think they would have made a better game if they had made it 2D. Like a 2D with the power of the N64 could have been awesome.
I think maybe. I don't know. We don't have
As
a lot
like
of
a true Metroid 3.
or Metroid 4 in that case,
Or right, Metroid 4.
or Metroid 5 in that case.
I don't consider the... Yeah, well, I don't know. People are going to disagree with me. I don't consider the Game Boy games part of the actual, like, franchise.
Oh, well, they're gonna get a lot of disagreement there. They're like the only part of the franchise at this point, as far as 2D Metroid goes. And yeah, back in the N64 era, if it wasn't 3D, people didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
That was the big thing back then. So you say that you could make a really cool 2D game on the N64. I can't think of a lot of examples of that, like where they did that, and I think that's because that was a huge thing at the time.
Mischief Makers.
I don't even remember that game.
I like we both said the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, Dr. Rockets.
Yeah, I guess maybe there weren't too many. I mean, Mischief Makers was pretty good, and it was 2D.
Okay, let's see where we're supposed to go here. So clearly we need the speed boost in order to get through here. So I'm guessing that it's back somewhere I haven't looked. And, well, I guess there's a door to the left I haven't even checked. These eyeball doors. I forgot that it only dies in one hit.
Poor guy. Oh, hey, really?
So as a fan of Super Metroid, this is one thing that I actually don't like about this remake. I think you hit him in the
So
eyeball.
fat.
Is they made him so huge. And that was like a fake out that they do in Super Metroid.
Oh wait, is that what they? Is that like the story of Super Metroid? Is him looking all big like that? Isn't actually real?
No, it's not like it's not real, but like, well, we'll talk about that when we get to Super Metroid. But in the original Metroid, he's just like this little tiny guy, and then in Super Metroid, they're like showing off the graphics.
I think my problem with the story of Metroid is that the enemies all look unthinking. They tell us that they're space
Pirates.
pirates, and yet like they don't have ships, they don't have weapons. They literally just like throw their body parts at you, and that's it. They don't feel like space pirates. They feel like monsters.
Well, the answer on that is yes. They can be both. How are you
Well,
to
yeah,
judge what an alien should be?
Like what? Like space pirates in my mind are going around stealing things and like raiding ships and cargo. They don't go down to planets and enslave bubble aliens. You also don't ever see them enslaving bubble aliens.
I'm surprised
do
at that.
Wow, you died.
Yeah.
Wait. Metroid is a girl?
And that's her name, Metroid. Well, now I know exactly where to go.
What happened to her parents?
Well, that is a manga thing.
Oh, really?
Apparently Ridley kills him.
No, what the heck, Ridley?
What a jerk. Come on, open your eye.
Knock, knock. Hello. Oh, hey, man. Oh, why did you shoot me?
Alright, I was chatting too much last time. Let's focus. Come on.
Yeah, dodge his fingernails.
No.
Okay. There aren't super missiles in the original, are there?
No. That was a Super Metroid thing. Makes sense, right? Super.
That's the real reason they didn't make one for the 64. They thought 64 missiles would sound stupid.
I don't know, that sounds awesome. Shoot 64 missiles at something?
Metroid Prime should have had cube missiles.
You know, I bet if we went online and like looked up, I'm sure that there was a Metroid 64 in development. I think it's funny that I died to that guy. It shows that I was talking too much, because look how easy he is.
It's because they spent so much time on Wave Race 64. They didn't have time to make Metroid.
They also zoomed in to show you that you can go back there after the bosses are killed. I don't know. Lots of little changes that are improvements from the original in many ways. I think you get the speed boost after this. So in this game, there's no run button, so you just kind of speed up automatically. Get my missiles back at least.
I swear, that 100% looks like Doom Guy.
I don't know, when we get the Varia suit, you can tell me whether or not it gets worse from there.
I think maybe it's because of the visor or something? I don't know.
Oh, maybe I can just go straight through that wall. Off to a great start. Oh, come on.
You need to call your supervisor and ask permission to run fast.
So earlier Nick was asking if I was ever going to do Other M, and maybe. Not this year, most likely. Because I understand where they were... I feel like I understand where they were going with Other M, and because of that, I wasn't there when the disappointment happened, I don't actually hate the game.
I mean, just because you understand where they're going doesn't mean they're going to a good place.
No, they were going to a good place. They just didn't do it right. I think there's a lot of good things that could have been done with that. I think it could be fixed.
Like, we're going to Hawaii. Oh, how are we getting there? The bus.
Yes, that's exactly a great way of putting that. So I died to Kraid. Watch me just kill Ridley without even trying. Oh, by the way, Ridley's in this game. Spoiler alert.
What?
How could it be? Ridley, it can't be.
Metal Gear.
Oh, goodness. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh man, I just thought, you know what would make a great Metroidvania? Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. I thought that before. There's actually a...
Alpha Protocol.
No, there's a stealth-based Metroidvania coming out called Sand Fox or something like that.
Oh, really?
Siege in the Sand Fox, I think is what it's called.
There was one for the, you probably never played it, for the Xbox... I don't know, one of the Xboxes. 360, I think.
Right.
Called Alpha Protocol. And it's, the main character is voiced by, what's his name? Nolan North, I think. And it's good. It's basically Metal Gear Solid, the Metroidvania.
Huh.
I wonder if that's available through anything else. There are actually a ton of Xbox Live Arcade games, well, not a ton, a good number of them that were great that aren't on any other system. And you basically can't access them now because it was on their online live service.
Oh, yeah.
There was a game called Bangai-O, Missile Fury, and it was amazing. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and yet if I want to play it, I have to go in the closet and pull my Nintendo 64, my Xbox 360 out. Holy cow, that's a lot of those guys. That is rough.
If I'd known I was going to get knocked down there, I would have just come that way.
Yeah, Richard, have a good one.
Alright, yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, Bangai-O Missile Fury was amazing, and it's totally unavailable now. I have to pull my 360 out of the closet and hook it up to my TV.
Yeah, that's irritating to me, especially with the digital age, the way we are.
Well, I was hoping with Microsoft, offering tons of their games on the PC, they would do something where they would offer those games that were only available on the 360's online store on PC, because I would totally buy Bangai-O again.
At this point,
there's another game called From Dust that was really good.
There's hundreds of games that are similar to that now.
It was basically the quintessential version of Bangai-O. It was the ultimate culmination. It was the R-Type final of Bangai-O. If you ever played those games, I liked it a lot. It was hands down my favorite Mega-O. And it had a ton of content. It was also incredibly hard.
It's really a shame when those things get lost to time like that. There's plenty of NES games that are like that too.
I am so excited for R-Type Final 2. I somehow missed that it was a thing until like January of this year, and then I saw like a trailer or something for it and almost lost my mind. R-Type Final is hands down one of my favorite games.
I don't know if I can get this yet. Nope. We'll come back for that. We're gonna come back down here anyway. I'm gonna try and get closer to 100% this playthrough. So we'll ignore all this stuff and come back later. E-tanks are kind of what I really want right now, because those are what keep me from dying to things like Kraid.
Sure. Well, not talking and focusing on the game keeps you from dying to Kraid.
Well, that's an excuse.
I'll just talk about R-Type Final 2 the next time you fight a boss, and you can zone out. You've never really gotten into bullet hell games, have you? Although I don't know if I consider R-Type a bullet hell. It's just a straight up shmup.
Bullet hell is a genre I've totally wanted to get into, but I just haven't found the time to get good. And you know, when you're not good at something and you die a lot, it's hard to keep up the motivation. Okay, so you're talking about them not having spaceships? Here you go. They show that in this game.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay. They look like little, they look like sperms. Oh, okay.
They're sperm whale
makes more
ships.
sense. He looks creepy. I like his eyes narrow. He's like, I hate this.
Okay, so problem with the original Metroid. Space Pirates, right? There's two of them. You have Kraid and you have Ridley in the entire game, and the rest are like the local wildlife. In this game...
I thought all of the other things were the space pirates.
No, it's like local wildlife. In this game, they explained that by saying that apparently you attacked their planet, whether this was like a hidden thing, like they didn't expect anybody to attack it, and Ridley is coming right now to stop you because they got the distress call or whatever. And so that's why there's no pirates in Metroid 1. So I thought it was a cool retconning thing that they did there.
Okay. Do they ever show you more space? Oh yeah, I guess they do in Prime, don't they? There's actual space pirates.
Yeah, and there are in Super Metroid as well. Like, right at the very beginning of the game, in fact, you have the space pirates everywhere. And they're like little cockroach men things. I don't know if you remember what they look like.
Vaguely.
You know, they scream like monkeys. They scream like monkeys.
Yeah. I can't believe R-Type came out in 87.
Reminders that you're old.
Yeah. What was it? I saw something that made me a little upset. Oh no, that was just a minute ago when we were like, oh yeah, this came out in 2001 or something, and I was like, what?
Can you believe that it's like 20 years ago at this point?
I'm sure this is the case. Like, in my mind, if somebody asked me, like, when did modern times start? I would be like, I don't know, like 70s doesn't feel like modern times, and 80s is vaguely, but like 90s. 90s feels like modern times. Probably for most people, they straight up don't. And I think that's probably just the case of my age.
Oh, Dr. Octorocket suggesting the reason why R-Type seems odd is because it doesn't seem like a game from its era.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the original R-Type is brilliant. It's genre defining.
I don't know if I can get this yet. Let's find out. I think
Do they have a release date for R-Type Final 2 yet? Check on that.
This is a power up, and I don't know if I have everything I need for it yet.
It's still just 2021. Come on, guys.
Okay, I can get this one, but I think there's a super missile down here I can't get yet.
Super missile?
Yeah, there it is. Oh, maybe I can get it. They have some really insane shine sparking stuff that I will not be doing on stream. I have never 100% this game. I will admit to that right now. If I have ever said that before, then I was lying. I have 100% Super Metroid, but I have not 100% this game.
So how do you feel about 100%ing things? Like, is it a good goal, or is it a tedious goal in most games?
Depends on the game. But in most games, I would say it's probably more tedious than it is worthwhile.
Hold on, let me phrase that like one of your questions from Wednesday. 100%ing a game is always tedious.
Neither agree nor disagree.
And I'm not surprised at all to hear that a group from the R-Type team broke off to make Metal Slug.
Yeah,
more Metal Slug.
Shine sparking is something I'm not good at. I'm gonna go ahead and try and go up because from my knowledge of the original Metroid, which I
do you imagine how awesome a wait, what were you saying?
Oh, I did play the original Metroid before I played Metroid Zero Mission again this past year, and it gave me a lot of insight on where things were hidden in this game. So coming into this after having played the original Metroid is actually not a bad idea.
You know, the original game didn't have little beetles that grab you.
Therefore, the original is better.
Better.
Alright, another missile upgrade. Those are helpful because I like to spam them.
Now I want a Metal Slug Metroidvania. That would be awesome.
Metal Slugvania. That's kind of what Omega Strike looked like, but it really kind of isn't. I want to say that there is one.
Just with like the over-the-top sprites and.
Oh sure, you mean like with the pixel art?
Yeah. Well, and the modern weapons and the tanks and everything about Metal Slug is awesome. I love the art style. The actual gameplay is probably the weakest point early on, just because it's so hard. But
yeah,
it was designed to suck quarters out of you.
Literally unplayable beetles. I think we can go this way now. Yeah. Now, this design seems like every 2D platformer does this at some point. The 4 choices that you can't tell which ones are the best choices until after you've done it. I have no idea why I wanted to go over the top like that.
Because it's always satisfying to feel like you're getting a secret.
Yeah, maybe. Alright, so the emulator keeps lagging every time I save. I don't know why. Shantae spin-off where you play as some of Ammo Baron's staff. That might be fun. Maybe I can get up here now. Oops. So this was kind of one of the big... In the original Metroid, this is kind of one of the big bugaboos, I think. Like, how would you know?
Secret here?
How would you know that this is a secret?
Get the power, Nintendo power.
I kind of wonder if that was like the intention of Metroid. It's like, we gotta sell these guide things that we want to try selling from now on.
I want to say that my dad actually had.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Like a guide walkthrough, like an actual legitimate strategy guide. Which, oh boy, talk about something that isn't around anymore.
I don't think I can get that yet. I think I need to be able to high jump, but that's where the Varia suit is.
Oh, right.
So maybe I need to go to Norfair first and then come back.
Oh man, the Nintendo hotline.
I am going to try and bomb jump this because I want it now and not later. Can I
still
bomb
have
jump this?
One of my prized possessions is actually in one of the Nintendo Powers they produced. They used to have fold-out posters on the inside, and one of them, the fold-out posters with a huge map for the original Legend of Zelda. And my dad had that because he had Nintendo Power, and I was only, I don't know, 5 or something, so I didn't play games. And he used that map so much that it got like all wrinkled up, and he has his own like handwritten notes on that map and everything. I still got that.
If only he knew how much that would be worth if he hadn't touched it.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's just a cool piece of like personal history. Like my dad doesn't even play games anymore.
Sure. I don't think I can do anything from this side. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and go where I think we're supposed to go.
I held the controller and pushed buttons when I was 5. I'm not sure you could actually go out on a limb and call that playing the game. You've got young kids. Have they played games yet?
He has, or my second oldest son has managed to hit the button at the right time occasionally while playing Rhythm Heaven Fever.
So he's basically a pro already.
They like to play Pokemon Snap, and basically they aim the camera at the wall and take 60 pictures of the wall. So yeah, they play games.
Tight.
It is funny how they insist that they have to hold the controller and actually control it. But you know what? If they're having fun, it's good for them to kind of learn and learn about the ropes.
Yeah, just because we started early doesn't mean we got better.
Yeah, no, I consider myself a generally average player. Heck, I mean, I died a crate on stream, so...
You just did that to show us what it looked like when Samus dies.
To be honest, I actually don't even know if I knew that before the stream. I have died to Mother Brain on this game. She's actually kind of tough.
Mother Brain.
So that is one thing that Other M gave us, is a little bit more information on what Mother Brain actually was, other than just a monster that you just go and shoot missiles at.
Did they really? Like,
yeah.
What is she?
Unfortunately, you might not like the answer, but but it does give you some information of what it could have been in the original game. She's an AI that was meant to mind control the Metroids so that they could use them as weapons.
She's literally a giant brain. How could she possibly be an AI? She's a biological brain in a jar.
That's exactly what it is. She's a bio machine or whatever. Okay, so if you set out, like Biopunk, if you set out to make a Biopunk computer, what would it look like?
Yeah, but could you call that an AI? It's just a brain. That's like calling me an AI.
Okay, if you made a brain, wouldn't it be an artificial intelligence?
Did they make that brain though, or did they get it from something?
They suggest they suggest that they did in Metroid Other M.
I mean, I guess the whole crux of their technology is biopunk. Like even their ships look organic.
Right, or like Kraid throws his body parts at you.
Yeah, I guess that's
biopunk.
True. So Metroid is biopunk, huh?
At least the enemies are. Bad guys are biopunk. Good guys are not.
Well, until you get Metroid Fusion, and then you are.
Yeah. That is probably about as complex as my Shine Sparking gets. Retcon Other M never happened. Okay, well, we can talk about Other M later.
We should totally play through it.
I should. The problem is it's 10 hours long, and it's not great. Or even good. The gameplay is actually kind of fun. Like, it was engaging for most of the game, so I'll give it that much.
Would you even have a way to stream it?
So that... you can emulate Wii games, and I do have the original Wii game. Oh, you can't even get through this yet. Where do I get super missiles?
Does it have any... Is that... Oh, wow. They made him a lot bigger than he was in the original.
Stupid seahorses.
Man. You really would have expected a Team Ninja Metroidvania game to be better than it was.
We don't know what happened there. Maybe it was Sakamoto's fault. Some people blame Sakamoto. But Sakamoto also made Super Metroid in this game, so, like...
Well, I think if we've learned anything from Mighty Number 9, it's that just because you're the original creator doesn't mean you understand what made your game good.
Sure. And then I think we have to backtrack up to the other area to get the Varia suit. And it is a big question of like how much control did he actually have in Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion? Did he have too much control? Is he like George Lucas in the sense that he had good ideas that other people executed for him, you know? Or
Right.
was it Team Ninja's fault or Nintendo's fault for interfering? Or there's a lot of things that can go wrong in any game. I'm gonna go ahead and go back. No, I'm gonna keep going. I know we're gonna run into.
I was about to say the fan community needs to step up and make a good sequel or remake, and then I remember they basically did with AM2R.
Yeah. And it's a great remake, in my opinion. I think it's the best remake version of Metroid 2.
But you can't walk around smacking all the enemies down.
Okay, the game is literally telling me I need to go back up and get the Varia suit at this point. We will go do that, and then that will be it for this week, because we are coming up on our time. Hopefully I can get up there in 10 minutes. I better get up there in 10 minutes. So, even now... Oh, there's a thing here, I forgot. Oh yeah, they just shoot me out of this place. It's nice of them to do that. Okay, what's the fastest way back?
That's
Not
nice.
this way.
Little quality of life improvements.
Yeah, I mean, there better be. It is a remake. So Metroid 1, very simple story. Pirates have super weapon and go stop them. Sets the framework for something that gets deeper as time goes on. So this whole biopunk thing, like the Metroids themselves are kind of a biopunk, right?
Yeah, basically everything that's not Samus is biopunk in these games.
You could argue that Samus might be biopunk, like maybe her suit is a biopunk type thing. It does seem to organically upgrade based off of...
That's true. Stuff you pick up.
Yeah, and if you take Metroid Samus Returns as canon, and you probably should, you get Metroid DNA that enhances some of your powers. Or I'm sorry, they use the Metroid DNA to activate machinery that the Chozo have, which suggests that Chozo technology is
Technically biopunk.
Yeah.
I remember seeing... let's see. I remember seeing concept art of Metroid, and it was like a cutaway of her suit, and it definitely looked... Oh yeah, here it is. This is from Super Metroid, though. But yeah, it shows the inside of her suit. It definitely looks like it's got organic elements inside of it.
Yeah, and Dr. Octorocket just made a good point that her turning into ball form. How?
Oh yeah, that's a great point.
Unless they're turning Samus into a mush or something, you know?
Liquefying her body.
So from a sci-fi perspective, you could say all of Metroid is a very biopunk universe.
I never thought of that. They should really lean into that.
They should lean into there's a lot of potential in the Metroid series that is untapped. Especially from a sci-fi like philosophy standpoint, which we'll get into as we continue with this series.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. And heck, they even leaned into like the horror element of biopunk with what's the game where you're getting hunted by the like version of you in your old
yes.
suit?
What the? That wasn't there before. Maybe it was. Maybe I just didn't see it. Metroid Fusion, you have Sax, which is Samus X. I really would like to play Metroid Fusion. However, that is a kind of a frustrating game in some ways. I would probably pull out a guide for that game. Okay, so when we first came here, those bugs were not up there. But now that we're here and this is where we need to be, they have those there to show you that there's an area up here.
Ah, that's clever. That's very clever.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you haven't played Fusion because it's.
Oh, I have played Fusion.
Oh, okay.
I meant on stream. I meant on stream.
Oh, because isn't it pretty much considered to have one of, if not the best story of all of the Metroids?
Well, that's debatable, but I think it's great, and I think it's a perfect sequel to Super Metroid, as far as the story is concerned.
Oh, we should totally play it.
Yeah, maybe we will.
That's another one that they should remake.
This is teaching us that the Beatles can kill these, whatever they are.
Oh, they're nomming on them.
Yeah, nom-noms.
Maybe the Beatles are little baby Metroids. That's why they grab onto you like the Metroids do.
That also teaches you that you have, when you get the high jump, you also have ball jumping. Oh no, don't fall in the lava. That is not a good place to be.
And actually, I'm going to go ahead and say that's canon. The Beatles are now 100% little juvenile Metroids.
Probably not. Metroids are supposed to be a lot scarier than that.
Well, no, they're baby Metroids.
Metroid Fusion is very good. When we get to it, I can talk about some of the game design aspects that irk me. From a storytelling perspective, I think it's basically perfect. So here's something interesting. They give you the Various suit, but in the original Metroid, it didn't change Samus's appearance at all. It just changed her color. In fact, her appearance didn't change until the Game Boy version when it was black and white, and they had to change her appearance because there's no other way you could tell you had it. In this remake, they just changed her color instead of her appearance. I thought that was kind of a nice touch.
Oh, yeah.
And now we can go in the lava without having to worry about melting. I think they might force you in there to teach you that you can do that.
Are Metroids already babies? What are they when they grow up?
Well, we're going to learn about that when we do Metroid 2. And yes, Metroids are already babies.
Oh. Huh. Oh, yeah, I guess at the beginning of Super Metroid, you've got that little baby Metroid following you around, and it's literally just a small Metroid.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited, guys. I love this series. I love the plot, or I love the narrative. I don't like using the word plot. The plot is go kill the things, but the story is different.
Kill the things.
Anyway, that is where we're going to stop for the week. I am excited to continue the series. Based on how quickly we got through things, I'm going to guess we're going to have at least 2 more weeks of Metroid Zero Mission. I'm excited to continue it as the story develops through the Metroid trilogy. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.